Us, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
The following is an America Matters media production. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the station or its advertisers, although we think they should. But that's the opinion of America Matters Media.
Now she's gone like a riddle in a song, all the way to MIA, where she thinks that she belongs. Poof, now she's gone like a riddle in a song, all the way to MIA, where she thinks that she belongs.
Welcome back. This is What's the Story? I'm Janice Hermson. I am your host, and I'm here with Ed Knoll from Omega Mortgage, Doug Ashby, Heroes and Giants author, and we are just thrilled to be here.
I was going to say, I'm just suffering shock fallback. That was a very...
There you go. You're in shock, right? Is that it?
So, with people that care.
Yeah, we just had, if you weren't tuned in, we were speaking with 3 of the Washoe County School District trustees, and that was District B, C, and F. And I think it was informative, and they did agree to a town hall. So I'm thrilled about that. At least they're open to the discussion. Let's put it that way.
No, I think
But it
it's
sounded like they
important
were
that
willing.
they opened the community because, like they said, right, people, I mean, they got a long history of kids not really performing, and so these folks can really be a change.
Well, and in fairness, Trustee Rodriguez has been doing this for 2 years. I think it's
they're
about
all
2.
new.
Yes, and then Trustee Mayberry was like a year, and then Colleen Westlake, Trustee Westlake is just a month, 2 months.
Yeah, she's new.
Something like that, yeah. So.
What great guests. Oh my gosh. They were so informative, and Ed hit the nail right on the head where he said you could just tell that they loved what they were doing.
Yeah, for that, $700 a month. It ain't the money.
Well,
I mean, we always say follow the money, but
I was going to say I didn't even know there was any.
I didn't
honestly.
I did, but I didn't know how much it was. Actually, when I looked it up, it was a lot less than that. So,
however,
they've gotten a raise.
They do appear to care, right, and have energy.
They do.
And let's maybe we can just pay attention and nudge.
Well, I think that those folks that don't agree, and I know that there are many out there that feel like, and probably that what we did didn't show the reality of what's going on in the schools. Our intent with this interview was to get to know the trustees, find out where their passions lie, find out what they think they can accomplish, and find out what the role of a trustee really is, so that we can identify that and what can they solve and what can't they solve.
Well, right.
Because then we need to move on to the next
I was
step.
one of the people criticizing and being an outsider, but I mean, reaching across, we need to be part of the solution for the kids, right? It's not, this isn't President Trump getting arraigned, right? This is our kids.
And we disagreed about Superintendent Enfield. They think she's great. I did not appreciate what she said, did, etc. I'm willing to say that because I watched the whole presentation.
They obviously hired her. They got to stand by her right now. So, but
that's just a disagreement. That's all.
I still admire that.
Sure.
Right. Let's see what results they get, but they're defending their pick.
Right. And they should.
This is like asking them a question. Like, tell us everything that you know since the earth cooled.
Exactly.
I mean, it's such a big
each
thing. And every one of these segments is so involved that, they
the
have
earth
to.
is still cooling.
Oh, I mean, it's It's
At
so,
least in Reno.
yeah, it's so difficult to solve. And it is this, it's the steamship that's headed for Hawaii. If we get it 2 or 3 degrees off or 2 or 3 degrees of answers, we're going to miss Hawaii by miles.
Good.
So whatever they can do today, put into place, is certainly going to be welcome.
To me, it's just putting the noise behind achievement in education. It's putting the things like CRT and suspensions and behavior issues.
And
those things are taking all the energy away from the kids achieving.
And Trustee Rodriguez was very clear, at least off the when we were off air, that he wanted to make sure that we defined, when you say CRT, what does that mean?
Right.
Social justice, what does that mean? And I do think that that's part of what we have to do, is to make sure that we identify the things that we're talking about, and put a definition to them, just like we define a MUR.
Well, these school boards, these guys just said, like the legislature, right? The state says all of a sudden, here you go, incorporate this. Right. Well, that's not fair. Right. But they got to do it. But I'm afraid, again, that that's what they spend all their time doing, not lifting up kids.
Sure. Yeah. It's a tough thing. Boy, I'll tell you what, my phone is blowing up.
That's awesome. We got into some nitty gritty, and I think that community involvement, folks, help your schools, right? Get in there. The best way to see what's going on is to volunteer.
Yeah, and I will tell you that one of the comments that is has been made is stop hiding behind the NRS. That's a cop-out. Well, you know what? I think that when we go to the town hall, that needs to be asked and answered so that we can figure out, how do we solve this? And again, what are their responsibilities? I think that part of it is so important, is to know what the responsibilities are. And if it's a cop-out, let's find out. I haven't read that. Well, I did actually read that statute, and it was unclear to me really what they were telling them they had to do. I'll be honest. I mean, statutes aren't easy to read, but I'm pretty, versed in it, and it just seemed real unclear.
Well, I think, with respect to schools, I mean, I didn't say right to me. They could start from scratch. When you're last, you can start from scratch. And I know that they took exception with that.
They did.
However, I quote, is Reno Gazette Journal forever has said they're last. So you can look that up.
We're not. That's
I'm not making that up.
That's a fact, right? I mean, we're not.
Right.
We're
I'm not even pulling
facts.
outside news sources.
You say if you start from scratch, or if you're on the bottom, you've got only one way to go. Boy, they ought to be happy with that. They can really see some improvement.
Well, unfortunately, like I said, the previous folks.
We have to take a quick break here. Always when Doug wants to talk. So we will be back. Don't go away. This is What's the Story, and we're going to do our word of the day.
Hey, sister, where you headed? Suitcase in hand.
You hear it all the time. Buy local, think local, eat local, choose local, grow local. But who the heck really is local? You can shop with locals at the Nevada Marketplace in the Reno Town Mall and search for locals at buynevadafirst.com. We're all local all the time.
1 in 3 adults in America have pre-diabetes, but most don't know it. To let people know it can be reversed before it becomes type 2 diabetes, professional basketball player Julius Randle is doing everything in reverse.
I'm only dunking with reverse windmills. I drove the whole way to practice in reverse. I don't recommend it. This move's called the reverse shuffle. I do recommend it. And it took me months to learn how to speak in reverse, like this. Here's 10 almost for diabetes type 2 with living Ben has mama. In other words, my mom has been living with type 2 diabetes for almost 10 years. So together, we want to say to the 84 million Americans at risk, exercise and healthy eating can help reverse prediabetes. Start by taking a simple 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Bet he can't say that in reverse.
Well, Jason, I've got to tell you, you're pretty much everything this company is looking for in an entry-level candidate.
Great.
Your resume isn't quite what we're used to, but you've got a fantastic work ethic.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed by how you carry yourself.
So, should we talk about the job?
What? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company is missing out on. Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
We are Lions. We bring hope where it's needed. Support causes that matter. Change lives. Change communities. Change the world. Visit lionsclubs.org to learn more.
For those fortunate enough to help the person who has always been their hero, find the care guides you need to help at aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
I got my backbone back. You stole it, I took it back. I got my backbone back. I'm lifted up.
Are you shy and don't want to talk on the air? Text us your questions or comments to 775-237-2266. Now back to the show.
Welcome back. This is What's the Story? And I'm Janice Hermson. I'm your host here with Ed Knoll and Doug Ashby. What is so funny over there, Ed?
Just a rocking good time, right?
Yeah, that was a great, it was a great interaction, I think. And I valued it.
So you folks know I don't like Zoom, right?
Yeah.
I don't do Zoom. You can't get you can't get instincts from people.
Right. It's hard.
There were 3 folks sitting across from me that genuinely care.
Yeah.
Now,
you don't necessarily have to agree with their position.
Right. But
and
they
didn't
do
completely, but
I would have, before I met them, questioned whether they cared.
Right.
They all care a bunch.
Right.
And I felt that.
It was clear. It was clear that they do. So, so hopefully we will get that town hall. I believe we will, and they seemed very sincere that they're open to having that conversation. We'll get it set up. When we do, we'll let everybody know. We're going to try and do it soon, so that everybody can, express what's going on. They seemed a little surprised about the legislation that's coming out, that they're going to have to worry about summer school stuff. I mean, this was a whole bill. I wish I would have had the bill number in front of me, because
let's just pile on to make our schools
I'm going to make
better.
sure that I send it to them. They can go to the legislature and say, hold on, folks.
Right.
I mean, it wouldn't be so bad if they were planning it for 2024, but this was 2023, and it doesn't even take effect until July of 2023. They have to be ready to do it right then, right? I mean, that's ridiculous. That's just ridiculous.
So our legislature hasn't always proven to be the brightest.
I told you they put me out of work when I was in mortgage when they changed the legislation. They didn't allow for the managing. I can't remember what it was called. For the mortgage office.
Well, I was going to say, as a mortgage guy, right? So Obama, Biden didn't do me any good in 2011.
I know. No. All right. Well, let's go to 2020 and talk about our word of the day.
Awesome.
Immurement.
I don't know. Can we use that word today?
It's from the Latin in, and muris, wall, literally walling in. This is from Wikipedia.
Well, I love the X-Files and all those murder mystery shows, and many of them have immuration.
Ooh, immuration.
As a matter of fact, I just saw a guy buried alive, right? Oh. It's live entombment.
That's it. That is what it is. And I got this word from 3 different dictionaries. This is one of them, if you guys can see.
Wow. Was that painted by a monk?
Yes, I think it was. The Winston Simplified Dictionary, and that was from like 1864. Same definition as we have today.
What?
Can you believe that?
Yeah, that means
1984 didn't get it. Orwell didn't see this one.
Well, that means it's a word that's dying. No one's using it, right? Word meanings change if you use them.
Oh, maybe, but we should have used it when we were during the pandemic, right? Wasn't that
So
sort
best
of
I know, this immuration looks to me like there's all kinds of uses for it.
Yeah, I think it's a good word. What do you got for us there, Doug? You've been so quiet today because I forced you to be.
Well, when I first saw this word, I thought, what the heck? And then I started reading about it, and to say that, over the years, over the decades, they've actually used this as capital punishment, where they just block somebody up on
I
a
thought
wall.
it was disruptive students.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Well, here's some history from immurement.
Yeah.
Notable examples of immurement as an established execution practice.
Yeah.
With death from thirst or starvation as the intended aim. Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's terrible.
Women in the Roman Empire were Vestal virgins, faced live entombment as punishment when they were found guilty of breaking their chastity vows.
Yes,
wow,
that's right.
It was tough being a woman in those times.
Entombing living persons as a type of human sacrifice.
Oh.
Like being part of a ceremony.
Yeah. When was that? What year was that? Do you have the time period on that? Is that from the same one I'm reading?
It's Wikipedia.
Yeah. It is. Yeah, no, it doesn't give dates on this as far as when.
This word has to go back to like 900.
Well, like I say, 1864 was when the one that I had pulled it from. So I knew it was earlier than that. 1149, Duke Otto III of Almanac of the Moravian something. Can't say that word.
Here it is right here. AD 4. I mean, this Flavius Basilicus guy ordered 1,000 Vestal virgins for immurements. This is like AD 475 or AD 480.
It's an old word.
Right? 1,000 people?
Wow.
How on earth do they come up with things
so
like
best
this?
I know, that may have been the first mass grave.
I don't know. That's crazy, isn't it? So what do you got for us in the way of synonyms there, Doug?
Oh,
you're a synonym man.
I'll tell you, really, that's the truth. And I honestly thought, oh, well, I'm going to, look for synonyms, and there's going to be a goose eggs there. Nothing, zero. Well, much to my dismay, or much to my enlightenment, box, cage, closet, coop, corral, encase, enclose, fence, hedge, hem, house, include, mew up.
What?
Mew up.
I don't have a clue what that means.
Neither.
Is that slang?
Pin and
well, I thought it was the mew down.
I mean, that's it is there.
So
I didn't see it.
Do you have kennel? Is kennel on there?
Is there two different meanings for I enclose and E?
I don't know that I've seen enclose spelled out that way.
I don't know.
That's a new one.
But anyway, I really didn't think there was going to be many. But boy, this certainly shed some light on it. I still think that if I was to write a sentence, I would rather say enveloped. Rather than
well, enclose appears to be very close to this description: to close or shut in.
Yeah.
Environ or encompass as a space or an object or objects within a space. Cover or shut up on all sides. I've never used the word shut up on all sides. I mean, shut up to me means shut up, right?
Shut up on all sides. What are the sides talking? Right? I mean, isn't that just flat out improper?
Yeah, include or confine as to enclose land with a fence, to enclose a letter in an envelope. An envelope is spelled with no E in this case. What world are we in?
You have to
the Century Dictionary. They don't know how to spell.
You have to love the English language because of the way people write. And I'll just read this to you. Maybe you'll fill out. It says it's Latin for in and wall, literally walling in. Also, or live entombment in the form of imprisonment, usually until death, in which someone is placed within an enclosed space. Okay, got that. And then they added without exits.
Well, right. I mean, this also could be like the Egyptian king in a pyramid, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's how they got rid of their leaders.
So I think dude who like offed a whole monastery because he wanted their wealth. They accused him of fondling his wife, and he like killed another 200 people and starved them to death. By
immurement.
Just caging them up.
Wow.
That's
brutal.
It seems to me they used it all the time. Maybe it ought to make a comeback.
Oh, I don't know. That's pretty scary.
Maybe this is a function of age. I don't know, but how slow people change. Earlier in my life, I was in favor of the of capital punishment, but as I've gotten older, the state has awesome rights. And I think that's one of the rights that you can eliminate from them, and that's capital punishment. I think if you take them out, put them in prison and say, hey, here's your cell for the rest of your life, I think that's just.
But that's the people saying, right? I mean, capital punishment isn't available in every state, but it's where the people have spoken. Right. And to me, it's what the people say.
And in Nevada, do we have capital punishment?
Yes. As a matter of fact, just kind of a side note, I did read an article, and it's been well over a year ago, that down in the prison, down in Carson City, they wanted to cut down the hanging tree because they said it was terrible. We don't want. Well, I never found out if they actually cut it down or not.
Oh, we'll have to find that out.
I think they're making it a park. Best I know, no one's there now.
No one is.
Yeah.
Well, nobody's still hanging there. No.
Just old ghosts.
Doug. Wow. Well, that's our word of the day, immurement. We're
You didn't realize.
Goodness. But it was an interesting word.
It
And
is.
like I say, I was cleaning out my bookcase, found 3 different dictionaries from different time periods, and I wanted to see, is this word, I found the word, and then I said, well, let's see if it carries forward. And then I went on the internet to see if it, carried forward, and everything was the same. So there you go. What can I say?
Wow.
It's interesting that it hasn't changed because so much has in our vocabulary. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and take a break here, and we will be back. And we want to thank Shanimal for doing such a great job on the board there. Thank you, Shanimal. And we'll be back after these words.
Hey, all you entrepreneurs out there. Whether you have a small business or work from home, LaRue Press offers a virtual office and business address for all your business needs. Located at 280 Gregg Street, Suite 10, LaRue Press is your personal assistant for friendly all-day service. Need a conference room to meet with clients? You got it. With LaRue Press, you also get phone answering service, mail forwarding, package pickup, and even help branding your business. Call LaRue Press at 849-3814 or go online to lrpnv.com.
In Northern Nevada, there's a one-of-a-kind home that provides temporary overnight lodging when veterans or family members are receiving medical care in the Reno area, some from hundreds of miles away. Too often, overnight accommodations are a financial and logistical challenge. Stephanie Tanksley and her husband are veterans who come for treatment from Bishop, California.
We were lucky enough to be connected to the guest house so that I could stay for 10 nights when my husband was in the hospital. So I was able to visit him every day. It was just a blessing.
Veterans Guest House is privately supported by individual and community donations from people like you who recognize our responsibility to support our heroes. And no government money is received for day-to-day operation of the house.
Please support this organization. The Veterans Guest House is an amazing resource for veterans. Supporting this organization is one of the best ways that you can donate your time and your money just to help our veterans and their families.
Find out how you can help at veteransguesthouse.org.
I'm Andrew Saul, Commissioner of Social Security. I'm here to warn you about telephone scammers pretending to be government employees. Some of these scammers may say threatening things like you will be arrested if you don't make payments or provide personal information. Do not fall for these tricks. These calls are not from us. Real Social Security employees will never threaten you for information or money. If you receive a call like this, hang up. Never give the caller your personal information, like your Social Security number or bank account, or send money in any form, cash, gift cards, wire transfers, or prepaid debit cards. Report the call to our law enforcement arm, the Office of the Inspector General at oig.ssa.gov. Share this information with your friends and family.
Question: what will you find on all over-the-counter or OTC medicine packages to help you choose the right drug and use it safely? The answer: the drug facts label. This label lists the medicine's active ingredients and purpose, how much to take, and warnings you should know before using it. Remember, even OTC medicines you buy without a prescription can cause side effects you don't want. So follow the information listed on the drug facts label. For more information, visit fda.gov/drug facts label. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Wake up, the sun below. Got another road to sow. Let the fire feel the hope swelling up from the depths of my soul.
To join the conversation, call 844-790-TALK. That's 844-790-8255. Now back to the show.
Welcome back. This is What's the Story? I'm Janice Hermson. Thank you to everybody who texted. I appreciate all your feedback, and hopefully we can make something happen.
Yeah,
with
let's
the trustees, Washoe
create
County
a confluence around Washoe County schools.
Yep. So I do appreciate the feedback. It's much appreciated, and we will move forward and do more things. You know, there's so much in the news right now. It is incredible. And one of the things, of course, you know, Shanimal has his show on Fridays, and he loves to scoop things. Don't you love to scoop things, Shanimal? You're there, right? No, I'm not hearing
He's
you.
talking, but we
He's
can't
talking,
hear
but
him.
we can't hear him. Oh, well, next time. I was going to let you scoop this one. Okay. Next time. So we know that Trump was indicted today, right?
That was so
Or not
funny.
indicted today, but he went to
So
his hearing. Did
it's-
anybody watch that? And
So I wonder
observe
if
what went
someone's
on?
like adding up the wasted dollars, right? You want to talk about New York homeless or homeless anywhere, right?
See that?
Yep.
Have you seen that?
Well, so they unveiled the indictment that charged him with 34 counts of falsifying business records in the first degree.
It's the same record 34 times.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see the whole.
No,
whole thing.
it's the same record 34 times, just restating it for official purposes with the state.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's
What a waste. What a waste of tax dollars.
So-
I feel sorry for those New Yorkers, right?
This Bragg guy is all about himself.
But you know what? If Trump wanted to put together a campaign slogan to increase his popularity and to get more money in his coffers, he couldn't have done better than what is going on right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I also pulled up because I was listening to a radio show this morning that was talking about this, and they were comparing John Edwards, who is a Democrat, who had this happen to him as well in 2011, right? So in 2011, John Edwards, let's see, it says, we don't know yet the exact charges against former President Donald Trump, but the legal case is expected to involve hush money payments to cover up an affair during a presidential campaign, right? Okay, so in 2011, John Edwards was arrested, charged with violating campaign finance law by directing hush money to cover up an affair during his 2008 presidential campaign.
And so
Does that sound familiar?
So
think
best
it
I
does.
know, he paid. I don't know where he paid from, but it's President Trump's attorney at least says
Right.
this is a personal issue. It's
Right.
not campaign.
Well, did you one of the
Well,
charges?
the thing is that you have the same situation. Where's John Edwards right now?
He got canceled.
Yeah, he got canceled.
Cancel culture got him.
Right, and they're hoping that the same thing can happen to President Trump, that he'll get canceled.
So I think they're so
that's
backwards.
what I have to presume.
I think they're
right?
just so backwards in their. I don't know their end result, but I know it ain't happening.
Well,
one of the charges that they have brought forth is a woman 27 years ago supposedly was assaulted by Trump in a changing room.
that one was dispelled a long time ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
27 years
Yeah.
ago it happened.
Yeah.
Anyway,
oh my God!
It's just Alan Dershowitz, right? He hates Trump and he says there's nothing. So for me, like, they're just wasting taxpayer dollars.
Oh, if you the meter is still running because the police that they had to put forward for his security, along with certainly security from his own, it's into the millions of dollars, all for a political stunt.
Gee, are we surprised he pled not guilty? Right. Well, this is a big headline. Trump indictment live updates. Trump pleads not guilty to 34 felonies. Well, what would
I
you
think they're just
okay. Somebody is going to need to explain this to me. The one was a misdemeanor, and its statute of limitations was 2 years ago. Not 2 years ago, was 2 years, and that was 6 years ago or whatever it was. So they reenacted that. Well, how do you reenact something that has been declared moot because the statute of limitations, and then they bumped it up to a felony? How can you do that? And you went from state to federal.
I can hear you.
How do you do that?
They're stretching. They can't do it.
But if it's moot,
Yep.
or if the statute of limitations has run out,
Right.
that means that it
Come
is
on.
moot. It's
Did
done.
you know there was an emergency COVID thing that happened then?
Here's another headline. Above the law is where it comes from. Trump indicted for 34 felonies. It's not the payout to Stormy, it's the pay up to Cohen. So it's to his attorney that apparently they're saying that this bookkeeping, bookkeepers have never had so much play, right? Donald Trump pled not guilty to 34 counts of first-degree falsifying business records in a Manhattan courtroom, a mere 6 years after laundering a hush money payment, not allegedly laundering. They're saying laundering.
Well, right. I mean, they keep going
to a
for
porn star through his attorney, Michael Cohen. Trump was criminally indicted for what prosecutors call a conspiracy to undermine the integrity of the 2016 election.
So if Joe
So there you
Lombardo
go.
went to the Bunny Ranch and dropped off 130 grand, right? Would anyone care?
Nope.
I
How
don't
about
think
this?
so. I don't know why anyone cares about this. Same
I can
thing.
see the headlight now. Trump visits Nevada and drove by a brothel.
I think it'd be cool if he just pulled his plane and parked outside, got out, went back in and left. That would be the killer story. Right? Nevada could do like these airports and they could have people fly in from all over the world.
Yeah.
There you
That's
go.
crazy. It's just crazy. So I just wanted to make sure that we blast this out because we happen to be on air when when all of this stuff is happening.
It's just
and
so
he
ridiculous.
goes to court on this wonderful day.
One of the things I did hear this morning, I think, I don't know if it was Debbie told me or if I heard a talking head say it, that Biden has reached an all-time low with his approval rating.
Well, and the other thing that nobody's talking about is something that we discussed a few weeks ago. It was about Epstein's things going on and the fact that Deutsche Bank and wasn't it Chase and Deutsche that are both implicated? No, JP Morgan.
JP Morgan.
Sorry.
Jamie Dimon.
Yeah. Deutsche Bank must face lawsuits over Jeffrey Epstein ties.
Yep.
So all of this kind of helps to build some cover for,
all of it. There is so much
different
stuff
things
going
that are
on.
going
If you
on.
don't think Biden's hiding out, and
Yeah.
loving all this Trump noise.
Yeah.
It's keeping him in the background. It's a total plan.
Right.
He's just sitting back
all the
there
money that's
watching
going
all the
to
noise.
all the money that's going to the Ukraine.
Yep.
For what? Sorry. I mean, you can care about that, but we don't have to send them all this money. This is ridiculous. We have people here that are hurting, and no matter what you feel about the homeless community, they could certainly stand to have some of
Janice,
those dollars.
there you go again. You're using logic. How about this? We have poor people here in this country by virtue of the fact that there's homeless camped out in every
Yes.
community.
Yes.
So what is Biden's answer to that? Well, let's keep the borders open so we can import
Right.
more.
More people that can be homeless.
Yeah.
Just
So that-
another. I mean,
Unaccompanied
really.
minors, and
Yeah.
what that's sex. That's sorry.
Yep.
That's human trafficking.
But with
and
homeless,
maybe sex trafficking.
with homeless and illegals in the border, it's a subculture. To me, you're creating classes of folks,
strata.
and we're not people.
Right.
We're classes of people, and
Yes.
that's always been a left thing. They love
Yes.
kings and queens, and they
Yes.
love
Yeah.
the hierarchy.
Yeah.
But it's not us.
Yep.
Well, and as I said, it's human trafficking is what it is, and we need to call it what it is and not be so afraid to say something about it because we got phones. Hey,
So remember as a
they hung
kid,
up though.
do you remember like when your kids had those little things with the phone ringer and the bike bell and all this stuff? I mean, we've had that today.
We have, haven't we? A little bit of everything. What can you say?
It's all good.
But I do think that a lot of this is intended to be cover. I can't think that it's not intentional because look at what the media is doing. The media doesn't have to do that. They could spend a short period of time. I'm not saying they shouldn't cover it. They can cover it, but they're making it a circus. And
They're
then YouTube,
They're live there.
I know.
Right? I was like,
YouTube took down RSBN, which is a conservative network that always covers Trump. They took down their channel yesterday for violating certain election, whatever. They found some little things that they could do. And the thing is, I've been taken down on some of my videos, and they put them back up afterwards, right? So they take you down for a while and then they put you back up. Pretty sure that's probably what they'll do here too. But the thing is, but the nice thing was RSBN said, that's fine. We've got Rumble. We'll go there.
Yeah.
So they just streamed live from Rumble and they still, what it does is it prevents people who may not know about Rumble from seeing the other side that maybe they wouldn't normally see. All they see is the narrative that the mainstream wants
when
you
you
to
go
see.
down either political party way down, you can't turn around and come back.
No.
Right? And you got to walk down the path with your eyes open.
Yes, you do. And you have to look both ways. Always.
Totally.
Look both ways,
Yep.
folks. Don't just look one way because you're not gonna know the truth if you do that. So just make sure you take a 360-degree view there. And on that note, we are going to have to take a little break here, but we will be back. And Susie, I hope that you're on your way to Reno right now and looking forward to seeing you soon.
She riding a horse?
Yeah, no. This is What's the Story.
If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. Ouch! Well, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers. If you administer insulin 3 or more times per day or use an insulin pump, call now and learn how a CGM can help you.
Painless. No more pricking my finger.
No finger pricks.
Convenience. They delivered it free and they took care of all the paperwork.
You can reduce pain right away. Plus, it's accurate, easy to use, and helps you spend more time in range. And if you have insurance, you can get a new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. Call now and get free shipping of your new CGM. Plus, we'll bill your insurance for you. 800-432-8150. 800-432-8150. 800-432-8150. That's 800-432-8150. If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. Ouch! Well, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers. If you administer insulin 3 or more times per day or use an insulin pump, call now and learn how a CGM can help you.
Painless. No more pricking my finger. No finger pricks. Convenience. They delivered it free and they took care of all the paperwork.
You can reduce pain right away. Plus, it's accurate, easy to use, and helps you spend more time in range. And if you have insurance, you can get a new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. Call now and get free shipping of your new CGM. Plus, we'll bill your insurance for you. 800-432-8150. 800-432-8150. 800-432-8150. That's 800-432-8150.
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and catch the bus. Text and miss your stop. Wait. Text and be late to work. Sorry, I'm late. Text and work. Text and pretend to work. Text and act surprised when someone calls you out for not working. Who, me? Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi.
Oh, hey. Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Now she's gone like a
Want to expand your advertising dollar? Sponsor this or any America Matters program by calling 775-827-8900, extension 2. Now back to the show.
Welcome back. And this is What's the Story? I'm Janice Hermson. It was my turn this time. And you are listening to us on
You are scheduled for a Mearman directly after the show.
Absolutely. Oh, it might be a welcome thing. Who knows? All right. It is Tuesday, April 4th, 2023. And at the end of the last segment, I mentioned Susie Hussner, who is one of our sponsors who provides our music for our breaks. And she's not going to be here till later, so we won't get to see her too
She's
early.
riding her horse up 80.
Yeah, they're going up that 80.
Ooh.
No, I think they're coming up to 395. So.
Oh, that's way nicer.
Yeah.
But I bet the snow's like 30 feet high.
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, and there's some roads that are actually closed between certain times. We were checking the road conditions last night, and my daughter actually went down south that way, and she said that they got detoured because of there were avalanches that were closing the road. So anyway,
wow,
lots going on around here. So I'm pretty sure, we do our book blitz every week, and sometimes I'm good at it, sometimes I'm not. And this time I picked a book and then I looked at it, and because of certain things, I can't share that particular book. So I don't have one today. I was looking to see if I could find something real quickly. How about you, Doug? You got a book for us?
Oh, I do.
Yeah, Doug's always good for giving us a blitz.
Yeah, and they're good books too.
Because you're recommending them. Of course they are.
A lot of the books I do recommend, I buy and I read.
That's good.
So, I mean, actually it's called, listening to your own press, right?
Yes.
And this one falls pretty much into today and what we're discussing, and I try to keep it that way. And one of the things that I did, because of the school district's policy on discipline, I thought, well, I'll look that up, see what, what's on Amazon as far as books. So I put in effective discipline and punishment, and I got 93 results, 93 books.
Wow.
But what it is, it was effective punishment without discipline.
Well, for sure.
93 times.
So
Yeah.
I saw it was written by a doctor. They don't believe in beating people.
So
right? So
with evidently was the 94th one, and it's called Classroom Management: A to Z Discipline Strategies. Strategies effective for the classroom discipline. Paperback, June 30th of 2019. So it is it's pretty darn current, and it's by Dr. Robert T. Tabor. And it says the public and teachers alike report that a number one problem in education is the lack of discipline. And I think all of us are kind of in accord on that. Unfortunately, few teachers have been trained in effective classroom management strategies, better known as simply discipline. This book offers approximately 60 specific and proven classroom discipline strategies. These strategies are easy to learn and simple to implement and will improve classroom discipline to the benefit of both teacher and student.
did this guy also write How to Train Your Puppy? In the animal books.
Yeah.
Well, I just found a book on the book list from 2022 from USA Today that I need to share, and this is for the writers out there. This book is called Verity, Verity, by Colleen Hoover, and it's a struggling writer is hired to complete the works of a permanently injured author. So that's just a brief description that they provide. But what caught me was the first review says this was straight up hilarious, the funniest creepy book ever written. Did I hear that people cried while reading this? I sure hope it was tears of laughter or pain, because y'all need to explain. I just thought it was a cute review.
Nice.
And sounds like an interesting book. Apparently there might be some spoilers in this, but Lowen is a struggling writer who gets the opportunity of a lifetime to co-write more. Oh, well, I can't read that one because of the verbiage. I can't do no profanity.
Oh, no. You sure it wasn't redacted? Did that come from Bragg's office? It's
exactly.
a redacted copy.
Yep,
They're redacting
yep.
the internet now.
Yeah. Yeah, I says I've pulled up this review and tried to make the words come for a couple of days now, but every time I try to write the words, all that comes to mind is WTF, Colleen. Obviously, we were warned going in that this one would be much different than her other novels, but she didn't tell us that it would be more. There's more to it. I'm not going to read it.
Must be a different frequency than her other books.
Don't know. Must be very different than what she normally does. But we didn't. Different than her other novels, but she didn't tell us that it would be so compulsive and I wouldn't be able to live my life while reading it. How dare she? So they really liked it. Apparently, her readers did. But seriously, this book was so delicious in a seriously twisted way, and I feel slightly guilty admitting that I loved Verity so much due to its dark and disturbing nature. All right.
That'll almost make
that.
me read it.
I know. We might just go out and buy Verity.
Yeah, we'll pass it around.
That's right. I'll get it, and you can read it, and you can read it. Oh, my goodness. So there you go. That's our book of the day. Did you want to share a little bit of finance with us? We didn't have time early on. We got all
So
distracted.
really quickly, the Fed hasn't yet caused
See, wait a minute.
immurement
This
of
is because of
inflation.
it. Because of inflation, he has to shorten his show.
No,
That's what it
so
is.
I'm working with the Fed to immure inflation. However, everybody and their brother is cutting gas, oil, right? So the price of oil is going up, which means our inflation numbers are going to go back up. Right, gas goes back up. Inflation's going to. Gas has been coming down for a year. Right, now it's going to go up and be a factor.
Hey, but that's only half of it. The other half is if you can get it.
Well, you know, America's not the America if you can't go to the gas. If you can't, I mean, in regular times, I'm not talking about an emergency like weather emergency, but if you can't pull up and get gas, right?
Well, that's what Biden
I
wants
mean,
to do.
we're living in a third world country.
Yeah, Biden
Well,
wants to
they're
do
also
that.
talking about doing another pandemic, so get prepared.
Well,
What can
that's
I
cool.
tell
At
you?
least we can forget about that one. We've already right. We've already learned the lessons, right?
Yeah.
Don't listen.
Oh, I'm getting ready to be mobile, so we're gonna have our books going into my van, and we're gonna drive around.
We're hunkering right here. We're hunkering right here.
No, I'm driving around.
Oh,
I'm driving around. I'm gonna be bringing people stuff.
nice.
We're not staying home, and we're not staying away from anybody. That's nonsense. So sorry, that's just my opinion, and it isn't here yet. So
Well, and on that note, right? Isn't it? There's a tennis player who still. Did they let him in? Who?
I don't think they did.
So he
Uh,
isn't
the last
vaxxed,
I
and they
heard-
wouldn't let him in to play in a
Do you
tennis
remember his
match.
name?
I should know it, right?
Yeah.
He's the number one tennis guy.
Yeah. I used to watch tennis a lot, but I don't anymore.
But yeah, I don't think he did.
Huh.
I don't think they let him in.
That's too bad.
It's
They-
ridiculous,
oh,
right?
well,
The
yeah,
COVID
it is.
emergency's over. You're not letting anyone in with, right? I mean, come on, right? I mean, this is the thing with big. It's not practical, right? Doesn't
Novak.
have common sense.
I'm not going to say his name right, but I'm going to try. Novak
Djokovic.
Djokovic.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't say the
Yeah.
D.
Right.
You ignore that, and then the J is like
Yeah.
a Y. All right. Djokovic denied entry into the U.S. Pulls out of BNP.
BS. Right? I
Yeah,
mean,
and
seriously,
that was
folks.
as of March 6th. That was the date on this story. So yeah, what can you say?
I mean, it's just sad. I mean, government has so many unintended consequences that the consequences it's made for are barely good enough to keep it open.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Well,
what I
if
see.
we can allow illegal aliens to come in without any vaccinations,
Right.
this guy should be able to come in.
Right.
You know what you're dealing with him. You don't have a clue with the people who are just
Well,
jumping
right.
the
That guy's
fence.
been here before. He's a
Yeah.
visa. You know he's not a criminal.
Right.
You know, one of the things that they aren't reporting, though, is a lot of these third world countries don't vaccinate against
Other
polio.
diseases.
Polio.
Yeah.
And so, they're coming up into this country. No telling what, 10 years from now, the diseases.
So you travel abroad, right?
Yes.
As does my mom and aunts. Don't you get like 30 shots before you got to go anywhere? It's because the world's a dirty, nasty, like environmental, microbiological place.
Wow, what a
man.
way to end the show.
Well, it is, right?
Yeah.
Yep. What a way to go. That's all I can say. All right. So we hope that you will tune in again next week. We'll see who we can wrangle up to come in and
Yeah.
chat with us. And you join us anyway. No matter what, we will be here. And
We
Shannon will
guarantee
probably
it'll
here
be
too.
entertaining.
It will be entertaining. Yes.
You
we
might not
provide
agree with us.
Edutainment is what we like to call it. And we will be back next week, same time, 3 to 5. You're listening to What's the Story? And please join us every week, Tuesday, 3 to 5. Thank you so much. And thanks for everybody who commented. Appreciate that.
Suitcase in hand, hairpin back, him in your head. Hey, sister.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager.